it says that the table shows information about the heights of 60 athletes, and I've got to just complete for part A the cumulative frequency table. Well, that means all I'm doing is just cumulative, just means that you're totaling the values, okay, one by one. So that means here when it's less than 150 it's going to be 0, okay, and then if you do 0 plus 4 gets you to 4, 4 plus 12 gets you to 16, and then 16 plus 35 now should get us to our next value. 16 plus 35, well, that gives me 51, and 51 plus 7 gives me 58, 58 plus 2 gives me 60. And another way you can always check this, I know it's a 1 mark, but you can still check that you've done the totals correct, is your last answer should be 60, which is what the total athlete number is, okay? So that's one way you can check it. And the last part, or not the last part, but part B is asking us to circle the class interval that contains the lower quartile. Okay, so we've got these 4 different class intervals. And the way which we can do this is by taking a look at our table and the cumulative frequency that we've just got written down. Now, the lower quartile means that we're looking at the data value that corresponds to the position value that is a quarter of our total amount we've got. It tells us 60 athletes. Okay, so we've got a total of 60 athletes, and we want to first of all work out a quarter of 60, which is just doing your 60 divided by 4, okay, which equals 15. So that means we're looking for the cumulative frequency where it would be 15. Okay, so that means it would be somewhere about here. So this one, the cumulative frequency here is 16, so that means 15 would be around about here. Okay, so that means that H has got to be less than or equal to 170. So therefore the interval which corresponds to that is this one over here. Okay, so where H is less than or equal to 170 but greater than 160. Okay, so now for part C we've been asked to actually draw a cumulative frequency diagram to represent this data. Okay, now whenever you think about cumulative frequency, I always tell my students think about a S shape, okay, or in sort of an F as well. That's the shape that should be made with your curve. Okay, it should be a smooth S-shaped curve. So the way we plot it is just by looking at the cumulative frequency table that we did. Well, I've just got another paper that I've got printed. You would of course be able to flip over, but I'm just doing this for the purpose of the video, okay? So over here I can see that where H is less than or equal to 150, at that mark it should be 0, the frequency, and it should be 4 when H is less than or equal to 160. So I'm going to find where 160 is. Okay, it's over here. And also then I'm going to find where the frequency is 4. So going up from 160, 4 is going to be about here. Because it's just going up in ones, my y-axis, I don't really have to do much thinking here. I'm just going to count up 4 squares and put across there. And then next in my table, if I bring it up, I have got that where H is less than or equal to 170, the data value, the frequency should be 16. So again, I'm going to go up to where 170 is and go all the way up to 16. So that is 15, 16 over there. Okay, and then next I've got where H is less than or equal to 180. So I'm going to find 180 and then go all the way up to 51. That is the data value from my table. So 51 is going to be about here. I'll just move down here. Yep, so this is 51. Okay. Next on my table, we've done up to 180. So 190, when H is less than or equal to 190, it should be 58. And then at 200 or less, it should be 60. So we're going to go from 190, go all the way up You could even be using a ruler at this point, okay, to help you out. 190, go all the way up and see where 58 might be, okay? So we found 55, and we are just going to be going up slightly more from there. Count 3 more upwards. So from 55, 56, 57, 58, okay, it's over here. And then from 200, we're going to go up and find 60. So that is right, not at the top, but over here. Okay, so that is all my data points, and it does, when you look at it, look a little bit like it would form an S shape. So that is telling us that we've done something correct. So we are always going to start at 0, okay, because that is the frequency for less than or equal to 150. Actually, it should be about here. Okay, let's rub this out. So now we are going to be going and drawing our smooth curve. And there we go, we have got actually a smooth sort of S shape curve. So it's telling me that, you know, we've done this question correctly. And then next part D is to estimate the number of athletes whose height is more than 176 centimeters, okay? So that means I'm going to go and look at my height axis. So that's this x-axis over here. Find 176, so there's 170. The middle is 175, and this is 176 over here, okay? And then what I can do is now use my graph, my curve, to estimate what the number of athletes might be, the frequency, okay? So I'm just going to draw a straight line from 176, okay, and until it touches the curve that I have just drawn, okay? Now it does say estimate, so you might get different values depending on how at this point, you know, your curve is situated, but more or less, you know, they will give a sort of a interval of accuracy that they can accept. So, you know, it doesn't have to be one exact answer, but somewhere around, I'd say 35, because that is what it's looking like for me on this graph. So yes, mine just touches 35. Okay, so I'm just going to write down 35 for mine. But, you know, anywhere like 34, 36, 32, 33 should be fine as well. Okay, so that was question 17, all of that on cumulative frequency.